huddle before you hit the runner. There were a few free throws there down the stretch, but it felt like that was the winner. What were the conversations?
Let's ask the players. They played.
I feel like the conversation was just we was missing free throws. Coaches told us keep our head up, play defense, and I got the ball in my hands, and I knew I had to make the big play as a leader. So that's what I did.
What did you see from them defensively? What were they trying to do throughout the game to slow you down?
I feel like they were trying to crowd me a lot, stop me from driving what I've been doing all year, and bring it to and all that.
Coach, how about his activity on the glass? 11 rebounds, 15 points. How big is that?
I think he's been, not just this game, but the whole season. I'll be lying if I said it didn't hurt when he fouled out with about 3-4 minutes left in the game. I thought it was a big blow for defensive rebounders. But, I mean, that's why it's a team sport. And I think the rest of the teammates stepped up and they did an awesome job on the rebounding end, especially Miles Derrick.
Coach, it was tied there with about 45 seconds to go. Were you thinking they would hold for the last shot as they ended up, you ended up fouling them, they go to the line to shoot two? What's kind of going through your mind there? What was kind of the plan and strategy as you were adjusting on the fly, if you will?
Yeah, well, I didn't tell Miles to foul.
Sure.
Yeah. I just told him to crowd three as much as possible because if I'm not mistaken, he was the player of the year in their region. And watching film, he pretty much can score from all levels. I just wanted to keep the ball in front. And once he gave it up, now get it back. But we fouled him, and luckily he only made one, I think. So then we came down, and I may have called a timeout. I drew up a play for him. KJ made something happen. I honestly thought the play was going to be more for Miles, and he was wide open on the back screen. But he made a good play. I guess that's why he's player of the year. I mean, if you think about it, it was more so for who was going to be state player of the year. Was it going to be three or was it going to be him? And, you know, I know points sometimes decide, but you can't take away the fact that he made the big bucket today.
How fitting, too, is it that the offensive rebounding end up with 17 in this game? Malachi was getting a bunch, and then a missed free throw. It's Miles there getting an offensive rebound that pretty much give you a chance to salt it away.
Right. So defense and rebounding was probably the biggest things in the locker room that we talked about. They were undersized, and we felt like that was the advantage. And just keeping the ball in front, and then that gave us more opportunities to rebound. Most of y'all don't know this, but we played them in September in Fall League. And they don't have the shirts on, but I had the shirt on that says keep that same energy. Because they beat us in Lynchburg, at University of Lynchburg, and we were the same size as them. We lost by 4 on the Tech, but they told us that they were the real state champs. So our destination was supposed to be here. We told them hopefully the destination to be here for us, hopefully you'll meet us here. So that's why the game was kind of like real back and forth, because we probably were the best 2 teams in the state for our region. So I'm just glad we got on the positive side of that. We're able to pull it out.
How about what you guys were able to do against Harris? I know he ends up with 31, but did you have to adjust anything out of halftime? Felt like you guys were trapping him a little bit more. You feel like you're okay with him with 31 if everyone else has 4?
I mean, if you think about our run last year, Xavier Brown had 50 in our semifinals, quarterfinal game, I think last year. Quarterfinals. He had 50, but we won by 30. So, I mean, if you keep the best player under wraps from getting 40 or 50, and everybody else is probably under double digits, then I think we did a good job. They didn't score more than 60 today, did they?
Mm-hmm.
Right, that was the goal. Keep them under 60. All their wins, they won over 60 for the whole season. So that was, in my mindset, that was the goal.
They also, I didn't have them with any turnovers in that first quarter. Maybe they had 1. You guys turned up the pressure after that. Definitely when the ball was out of Three's hands, it felt like you guys were kind of swarming, getting your hands in there. Was that kind of part of the goal after that first quarter?
Yeah. It's funny because we turned the ball over like 9 times, which gave them transition points, which they do a great job. I give them great kudos for that. But if we don't turn the ball over and we keep them in front, like you're talking about, and kind of cause havoc, like we did in the third quarter, we went to zone, and they really turned the ball over a lot, which kind of pushed their lead to almost, 11 or 12 at some point. So hopefully, you know, we can grow from this. And I'm talking about grow as we get better from year to year about turning the ball over, keeping the ball in front. It's got to be a standard here. as far as defense goes.
Malachi, in your words, man, how did you have such a big impact on this game?
I feel like I just bring my talent just to the team. I fit in where I fit in. I just got to do what I got to take to first. At the end of the day, to get a W. That's all that matters most.
And KJ, you missed the free throws, and then you turn around and get the winning bucket. What are you telling yourself? What's going through your head?
I feel like all the coaches was like, keep your head up, keep your head up. I knew I was going to make the big play, and that's what I did.
For either player, or for both of you. Different on the floor tonight as opposed to last year? Pressure trying to go back-to-back. How did you handle that?
I feel like it was hard because it's hard to go back-to-back. Losing 4 starters from last year and then coming back with a new starting 5 was big. We had to come together really as a team.
Definitely. Especially when people counted us out early. People counted us. They didn't think we was going to make it this far. You got to prove people wrong. That's all that we was trying to do. Just try to be great. Get us another ring back-to-back.
You guys good? Thanks, guys.